Listening Keshwani sir, it's always a delight. So ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to all of you. And I'm sure that our worthy audience, has been really benefited by the rich experience sharing of Sunil Keshwani sir on presentation skills. He has virtually laid a strong foundation and outlined the framework of presentation skills. And also, he has shown the way in overcoming your psychological barriers. So now, let me walk you through the wonderful journey of presentation skills and its techniques. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for it? I need your responses in the chat box. Thank you very much. Jagdeep ji, Satish ji, thanks a lot. Manish ji, thank you very much. So, before I start, let me ask you a question, because questions I love. Someone some years ago told me, listen, Govind, questions are answers. Sawal hi jawab hai. That time, I was not sure what that person told me. I didn't know the meaning that time. But today, when I look back, I realized that person gave me the secret of life. The person told me questions are answers. And today, I follow that technique. I always question. And when I question, ladies and gentlemen, I get the answer. And as written in the Bible, thou shalt seek it, shall get it. So be ready to seek. Now, my question to you is presentation skill a soft skill or a hard skill? I need your answers in the chat box. Is presentation skill a soft skill or a hard skill? Satish ji writes, it's a soft skill. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Vinay Pandey writes, it is soft skills. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Vinay. Okay, before I answer, let me share an image. An image of a person you can rightly connect, because that person might have been an inspiration in your life some years ago or even today. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the iconic investor, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, he is very much known as an investor. But there are some unknown facts about him. Thankfully, I was reading an article in inc.com. That article was about presentation skills. I got to read about this person's story, Warren Buffett. Imagine Warren Buffett, whose net worth is approximately $71 billion. That person says that a business person should have presentation skills. Because if they lack the presentation skills, I am not going to invest in their business. Imagine a person having $71 billion net worth. It's saying something seriously. And he also shared that in his office, he has got many certificates and awards and degrees on display. But there's only one certificate he likes the most. He showcases always, and that is a certificate he got some years ago while attending a course on public speaking by Dale Carnegie Institute. Ladies and gentlemen, not only Warren Buffett, rather many more investors, many more people who have the funds, they want that the people who are in charge of businesses, either it be the promoters or the professionals working in the business, they should know the presentation skills, because they will be interacting with the stakeholders. And that is why these financiers or the people having the funds, they want that the people responsible for running the business, they should know how to interact. Otherwise, these people's fund will be at stake. Ladies and gentlemen, even Warren Buffett says presentation skills is not soft. It is equivalent to your hard cash. There are a lot of professions where you could see that the art of presentations or the art of public speaking is not a soft skill. It is equally a hard skill. So don't think that only the technical knowledge that you got because of some degree is your hard skills. Today, we are going to discuss a lot about presentation skills. I'll be covering some factors, some technical areas where you can have a niche, where you can gain some competitive edge in your professional life because of the presentation skills. Now, why PS or the presentation skills? PS is important, but why? Why presentation skills training is important? I'll be sharing 5 pointers why presentation skills is important. Please note it down and choose your why for presentation skills. The first, properly structure your presentation. When you gain this training, when you attend this training, you can know how to structure the presentation because you have got many datas, many content, information. But if it's unstructured, the audience, the mind becomes a bit chaotic because they're not able to digest, they're not able to receive all the information at a go. The second, which my co-speaker, Kishwan sir, he justified and he shared in such an amazing way that everybody could understand, and I have faith that today most of you have learned how to overcome it. Ladies and gentlemen, the second is called overcome your stage fear. Some years ago, I was a person whom my friends used to say a shy guy, an introvert. And even my teachers, they used to say that you are introvert. There's a problem in you. I didn't know what the problem was, but yes, I do know one thing. I was not able to talk in front of people. It was a deadly thing for me to speak. But look at today, destiny chose something else for me. And that is why I learned never say never. In school, in college, I used to say, I'll never speak. And today, speaking is my profession. I learned how to overcome the fear. And I did it by just one thing: face it, face it, face it, face it. I was watching a movie. After Earth, there's a line it says, danger is real, fear is a choice. I realized, I learned that fear is a choice. So I have to choose either be fearful or be fearless. I chose the second one. I chose to be fearless. You have to choose to be fearless. Otherwise, there might be something which you'll regret in future. The next is to deliver effective presentations. So the first we learned is structure. The third is to deliver. And this is the stage where majority of the people, they take a U-turn and they say, no, no, I will not deliver. This is not meant for me, ladies and gentlemen. But yaad rakhiyega, this is the area where you are coming in front of people, where they will know you, where they will praise you. So you have to deliver. And this training which we are delivering today, it is going to help you to learn how to deliver the presentation. Even today's training will help you to leverage your body language. Body language, not in the offline mode, but in the online mode as well. If you look at my body language, and if you recall Kishwani's body language, although we are delivering the session in online format, but still our body language is doing the maximum presentation. This is what the power of body language is, because the body speaks more than the mouth speaks. And the last thing you can gain is knowledge of infographics, narratives, etc. And they are like a kind of weapon in your arsenal, which is required while you are on the stage. Either it be on the offline presentation or the online presentation we are doing right now. So we'll be learning the infographics, the narratives, the anecdotes, short stories, and many more things. Now the question third is, what is a presentation? As a layman, I believe presentation is to speak your heart out. My heart is beating, keeps on repeating. So this is what presentation is. Your heart is saying something, your mouth is just presenting it to the people you want to share. But yes, not in a chaotic manner, but in a structured, prepared, and speech based means of communicating the information from your heart and from your brain. And the ideas you have inside you want to transfer it to a group of interested people in order to inform or persuade them. This is what presentation is, where I want to say something, where you want to listen something. I gained the knowledge and I want to transfer you the knowledge so that you can transfer your knowledge, your positive aura to me. And this is the way we can have the win-win situation. Then from your side, whenever you feel that you want to ask something, you have some queries, some questions in your mind, ladies and gentlemen, the chat box is on. And I'm waiting for your chats. बड़ा मजा आता है आप लोगों के chats को पढ़ के. So please use the chat box as much as you can. Let's move forward. So, what is an ineffective presentation? When something is not effective, when you are sharing something but the audience are not in the receptive mode, or the audience are not able to get what you are sharing, ladies and gentlemen, that becomes ineffective. But there are many factors which makes that great presentation and ineffective presentation. So this is an example of infographic where very less data has been used, very less information has been used, but the audience, they get the message in a gargantuan manner. The content might be infinitesimal, but the message inside this presentation is gargantuan. The first cause for ineffective presentation is the speaker or the trainer or the presenter might be lacking some factors of motivation or information or persuasion. And that is why the speaker, the presenter, could not connect with the audience. And there is a failure to motivate people, a failure to inform people, a failure to persuade people with the message the speaker has. And as you must be knowing, the communication process has some goals. For example, to motivate, to inform, to persuade, or to entertain. And the same is in your presentation skills. If you lack these goals, your presentation becomes a failure. Second, which I like the most, and that is called poor research. Poor research of the subject. If you want to be on the stage for a long term, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, you should do a deep research, intensive research. Because when you are doing the research, you're gaining insight about the topic. And when you are gaining insight about the topic, you know a 360-degree of the topic. You have done a 360-degree or a holistic analysis of your topic. And anybody can ask any question. You are ready to answer the question. You are not afraid of the questions. So this is why poor research is very important. The third, which many people unknowingly commit this crime, is called killing the audience with data dumping. With data dumping, ek ke upar ek, and the audience like, oh God, help me. So data dumping should be a constitutional crime. You know why? Because the audience, they are investing their time to gain something. And what they are gaining a lot of data, which is actually a bit confusing. And when the audience is not able to decide which one to take and which one to leave. So Data dumping is a crime, and being a presenter, being a speaker, you should avoid committing this crime. Otherwise, the audience, they will not forget you. And the next time you are in front of them, the revenge will be taken. As you have seen the movie Gladiator, when the hero says, the revenge will be taken either in this birth or the next birth, but the revenge will be taken. So, ladies and gentlemen, avoid data dumping. The fourth reason is called confusing structure. Everything has a sequence, everything has a structure. Like my body, the first is the head, then my middle part, and then my lower part. I cannot like shuffle it. I cannot put my legs on my head because this is not the way God created me. And the same rule applies in your presentation. There should be a opening, there should be a body, there should be a closing. If you are changing the sequence, then the audience will be changing you. So these are some factors because of which your amazing, great presentation becomes ineffective. The next, we'll be talking about the steps we need to make an effective presentation. And I tell you, this is really important because this particular part will decide your future as a speaker, as a presenter, as a communicator, either in your office, either in your business, or either in your family. Everywhere, the way you speak decides your company. So, we'll be talking about the different steps, the different parts of presentations. And I tell you one thing, presentation skills and proposals are alike. All the stages of presentation and proposals are same. I know many of you must have experienced proposing someone. प्लीज खो मत जाइएगा उसमें, उस दिन की याद में आज यहीं पे रहिएगा. आइए मैं आज आपको प्रपोज करता हूँ. Let's propose to learn something today. What my colleague, co-speaker discussed about the stage fear. The same is in proposing someone as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay calm and have faith. If you are successful in proposing someone, you will be successful on the stage as a presenter as well. And if you are not successful as in your proposals, I will let you know how to be successful in presentation proposals. Dil ko tham ke baithiye, we are going to share the magic. A presentation has got three stages: the planning, the second is called the preparation, and the third is called the delivery. So PPD, planning, preparation, and delivery, makes a great presentation. If you lack one area, then definitely the end result will be drastic, will be catastrophic, and then your presentation won't be that great. So you have to give equal efforts to every stage: the planning, preparation, and delivery. And if you look at the screen, this is also an example of infographics, which you might be using or you will be using in your future presentations. If I talk about the planning stage, so Brian Tracy told proper prior planning prevents poor performance. And even he said one more thing: if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So planning is very important. Either it be a presentation or the management part, in we call it the strategic management, or it be your home. Everywhere you plan, because planning is very important to be successful in any area. Either it be your personal life or your professional life. And the same in presentations as well. So we will be focusing on the planning part now. Point number one: What is the purpose of your presentation? So, what is your purpose today? Why are you attending the session today? Please share your purpose. I'm waiting for your typing skills to be seen in the chat box. So, ladies and gentlemen, share your purpose today, why you are attending. Accordingly, I will share my experience, my purpose of today's presentation. Okay, Jagjit ji says to add value in our presentations. Great, thank you very much. Rohit Chopra writes, I wish to appear before adjudicatory, so this presentation will help me in planning and preparation. So Rohit is a company secretary, and since last many years he is practicing as a qualified company secretary, and he has some responsibilities and he's accountable towards his clients. And that is why when he appears in the judiciary or the authorities, he has to present himself and his information in a structured manner, so that the client does not lose the case and so that the client does not lose the trust on Rohit. Unlike Rohit, most of you must be having your responsibilities and you must be accountable to someone or to your clients. So that is why presentation is required even in the judicial system as well. And the judiciary actually, if you know aware of it, they follow the presentation structures. They want the files, the information should be in a chronological order. It should be a structured presentation, and then the judge, after looking at those presentations, he or she passes on the judgment. So that is why it is very much important in your career as well. Today my purpose is to empower and transform my audience with the presentation knowledge I gained in my past 11 years. That is why I'm today here, to transfer that knowledge to you all. That is the purpose of my presentation today. The second we should be aware of is called, who will be your audience? Who will be your audience? Because the audience are the one who have the controlling authority. Although the speaker, they always have the controlling authority, but majority agar dekhenge, the audience, they have the power. And even in the online mode, if you see, the audience, they have got a power to leave the meeting. They will not leave your meeting if it is very productive, if it is adding value to the audience's life. So that is why you should know who the audiences are. You should be aware of the demographics of the audience. What is the age? Which geographical location they belong to? What is their profession? And accordingly, you can plan your presentation. The third thing we should be knowing is called, what are you trying to achieve through the presentation? If you talk about myself, I'm trying to achieve that my audience should learn these things which we are sharing today and add to their current knowledge of presentation skills. And after that addition, when they present the presentation in front of a third party, they should be praised. They should be given that proper respect because they deserve it. That is what I want today. I want that my audience should become a great presenter. The fourth is how to design your message. And in message, if the word is jumbled up, the entire meaning of the message changes. When khichdi becomes khachadi, if you are aware of the Chinese whisper game, when you pass on something to someone and that some person passes the information to someone, and when that message is diluted, the meaning of the entire presentation changes. Next, we'll be learning about how to organize your material, and finally, design the look and the outlook of the presentation. So these are the things which are covered in the planning stage. And whenever you are using the presentation skills, always keep in mind, answer these questions. And these answers will help you to structure your presentation. Then we'll come to the next part, that is called the preparation, which is the way through which you can create an amazing, mesmerizing, and powerful presentation. The first stage in preparation is find the topic. You cannot speak on each and every topic because the universe has got plethora of topics. You can speak the topic in which you have command. You can use that topic in which you have strong conviction. For example, if I share my topic, then ladies and gentlemen, my favorite topic is the art of public speaking. And then the second is the general knowledge, current affairs. That is my strong area. So what's your strong area? What's your strong topic in which you can speak with your closed eyes? The topic while choosing, you have to keep in mind some pointers which will help you in your preparation stage. Point number one, and that is called, what is the topic which you like the most? When you start liking a topic, then you start reading the topic. When you start reading the topic, you start repeating the topic. When you start repeating the topic, you start gaining momentum in the topic. When you start gaining momentum in the topic, then comes the moment when you can present anytime on the topic. So decide one topic. Point number two in find the topic is called have deep knowledge of the topic. When you go deep inside the ocean, then you can get the best pearl. And that pearl, I tell you can give to your loved ones. They'll be very happy. The pearl is synonymous to knowledge. When you deep dive into the sea or the ocean, you gain insight of the topic. You gain amazing knowledge of the topic. But yes, this is the stage which needs your commitment. This is the stage which you have to do continuously, not like you were doing one day and then you took a break of 1 month. Every day, inch by inch, you have to move towards that topic. And then you'll be going deep in the depth of the topic. Point number three, you should be able to do justice to your topic. When you love your topic, when you have knowledge of the topic, when you have insight of the topic, definitely you can do justice to the topic. But imagine you chose a topic in which you are not confident. And the moment you start speaking, your body language is telling the audience, there is some problem. The speaker who is not aware of the topic. So keep in mind, you should be able to justify the topic. Next, in preparation, the second point is called research on the topic. Keep in mind, again, I'm saying research on the topic. You know why? Because there's a difference between search and research. When you search, you get data, and the data is scattered. The data lacks the solution. But when you do the research, you'll be amazed to know that you are gaining knowledge. And that research always leads to solution. So that is why do proper research. When you do research, you know the 360-degree of the topic. You become more confident. And research is always a long-term investment. So it is your call. If you want to go for a short-term investment, then you can do the search. For the time being, you are getting a data. But when you are having a long-term vision, please do research a lot of the topic. And this is the point where maximum presenters, they lack. They don't want to research. You know why? It is a painful process. Google Baba is amazing. But keep in mind, Google Baba just gives you the data as per the algorithm calculation it does. When you type in the keywords, Google provides you the data. At the end, you have to do the filter option use. You have to refine the data and convert the data into knowledge. But yes, for that, you need a bit of patience. Next, point number 3, create the draft. When you are doing the preparation, keep in mind, draft of the presentation is really, really, really important. I remember Rohit just shared that he want to deliver the presentations in the authorities. And when you are delivering the presentations in the authorities, ask him. He knows the importance of the draft presentation or the case, the draft case. He has to plan his case on paper. When you note down the content on the paper, there's clarity in your presentation. And this stage I call organize the presentation. An organization is always a sequential one, where there's a opening, where there's a body, and there is a closing. And when you are creating the draft, it will help you to avoid the omissions. It will help you to avoid the errors in the final presentation. If someone of my audience has experienced any situation where they were like a little bit embarrassed because of the final presentation they delivered, there was some mistake. That mistake might be of omission or commission or error. The next, when you are creating the draft, there's one more important part of it, the creation part, and that is called when you create a draft, the draft helps you to gain an impactful, an impressive vocabulary. So when you are using general words, you cannot use the general words always. Like if there's an audience, like my audience, who are intellectuals, if I'm using very general words, definitely they will be liking it. But yes, impression for a long term might be missing. We need to develop a great vocabulary. And as for the audience, we have to change the vocabulary. And when you create a great vocabulary, it will help you to define the structure in a structured manner, the chronological manner. And definitely at last, it will help you to have clarity in the thoughts. So writing the content is very much important. I know that my audience are always using this stage or the step when they are planning or preparation of their presentations. After the draft, the next is called the PPT and the infographic. A very, very important area in presentation is called the presentations or the PPTs. Let me share some things, some important pointers about PPTs. What a beautiful PPT you have in front of you. Amazing, unstructured, and chaotic PPT. If I would have been the audience today, and if my presenter would have shown me PPT like this, I would have taken an option. Sorry, I don't want to learn from them, him or her. This is not a PPT which I use in my presentations. This is a PPT which I used today just to let you know what are the small mistakes we make in PPT designing. The first line is about fonts. When you are using the small fonts and your presentation is displayed on the screen, either it be on your laptop, your mobile, or projector. And if the audience are sitting at a distance, they cannot read the presentation. So that font should be a bit visible. A chaotic mistake which speakers do is called capitalizing everything. I know capitalizing is good, but you cannot capitalize the fonts. Capitalizing is important just to show some important pointers, not the entire paragraph. When you're using the fonts which are in the capitalized format, the audience, they are having an optical illusion. And that is why they could not concentrate on one line. Their vision shifts within seconds from line to line. And that is how they miss the real message of the presentation. The third point, if you see, it is amazingly in a cartoon format, which is amazingly decorated. The format is a bit decorated, which is not required in your professional presentations. In professional presentations, the rule says KISS. Keep it simple and smart. And the last one, a great artist created it, and I don't know that artist. But yes, the great artist, if you see, he has used the bold option, he has used the italics options, and look at the font size. So these mistakes of the font we should avoid in our PPTs. And obviously, this is the font we should actually avoid, which is bad. Now, I know we Indians love our festivals, and especially the festival which comes in the month of March, and we're talking in the month of August about it, is called Holi. Let's play Holi. Holi should be played in your real life, not this presentation life, not on PPTs. The colors should be on the body, not on the PPT. I know a creative mind always loves colors, but sometimes lot of colors confuses us, and that is how the real message of the presentation is missed by the audience. Limit your colors. When you are using the PPT and you want to use some colors, restrict your color choice to maximum 2, and that too keeping in mind the background of the PPT. If the background of the PPT is light, then you should use the colors which are visible from a distance. Like the point number 1, if you see, using font color that does not contrast. So I have a very light background and the font color is also light, and that is why they are merging and the message is not visible. Then I have a header and then I have a body of the topic, and I have used 2 different colors for the headers and the body. The audience gets confused. And the third is amazingly chaotic. Oh, every alphabet has got different colors, as if I'm in the nursery class. I'm learning how to choose colors, how to play with the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, it should be avoided in your PPT presentations. The PPT, it helps you to gain a bit of concentration of the audience. When you are connecting with the audience, the PPT always helps you to connect. The audience, sometimes they want to see something else apart from the speaker. And this is the time when your PPT comes as a savior. But imagine if the PPT is chaotic, the audience is not interested either in the speaker or the PPT. Now, infographics, I shared an image with you all. Infographics are very important. Infographics are visual representation of the message you are sharing. For example, this is a visual representation of the message. The power of visuals. So this part is covering 2 topics. The first is covering the visual power, and the second is covering the infographics. Point number 1, go back to the essence. For that, we have used the apple. And you all know the importance of apple in human life, Adam and Eve. The second is called provide a common language. You could see Adam and Eve are standing together. If they don't have the common language, how can they speak to each other? Then third, make complex information a bit understandable so that the audience can understand your information. If you are playing that my audience should use the puzzles, the audience are not interested in solving the puzzles. They want that the information should be provided them, not saying spoon feeding, but yes, in a manner in which they can use it at the presentation they are delivering. The point number 4, stimulate engagement and participation. And I'm very happy that our audience are totally engaged today and they are participating in the question answers in the chat box. I'm really delighted with the messages you are sharing in the chat box. Point number 5, improve your system thinking. When you are using visuals and you are not able to share that visuals because there is a problem in your system. If the system might be the medium we are using to communicate on the online mode, or the medium you are using to showcase your visuals, there might be the pixelate problem in your media. You downloaded a media which is having the pixelates. It's not visible from a long distance, and that is why the audience are not getting the real message. And last, create a memorabilia or a souvenir or an object which the audience might be having always with them, keeping as a memory of yours. That is the power of visuals, and that is the power of infographics, information and graphics. When information are presented in the form of graphical representation, infographics today in online mode, infographics are very, 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 very important. The next stage after the PPT and the infographics is one of the most important steps. And that is called, ladies and gentlemen, the practice. Practice, practice, practice. People, they ask me how to gain confidence in presentation skills, how to gain confidence in public speaking skills. I just say one thing, and that is called practice, 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 and practice. The more you practice, the more you gain. The more you gain the knowledge, the more confident you become in your subject or in your topic, and your presentation becomes more powerful and impactful. If you are delivering the presentation without practice, guarantee you, be ready for the failure. And the audience, they're not going to listen to you the next time. They could easily analyze that your presentation is not a practiced one because you are speaking spontaneously. And the moment you become spontaneous, it is visible on your face and your body starts reacting, because there is a conflict of the mind and the body. The body will react according to what your mind is thinking. And if there is no data in the mind, your body becomes dull. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the power of practice. I'll share one very easy way, an economic way to use the practice medium. As my co-speaker, Mr. Keshwani, shared that he used to record his voice on the cassettes. I belong to the same generation. I'm just 18 plus for last so many years. I have done the same with the pencil. You have to just do the round the cassettes, and then we used to use the jugaad to have our recordings on the cassette, but it was only audio. Then came the webcams. Oh, sorry, not the webcams, but the cameras or the handycams, but they were a bit costly. We could not afford it. And finally, the time came for the mobiles with cameras, although the megapixels were a bit less. But I started recording myself on the mobile. And this was the first thing I did to practice my speeches. It's been around now 15 years doing this or using this technique, more than 15 years. Even today, when I practice, I like no start my preparation of my presentation or my speeches, and when I come to the practice mode, I always record myself. And really, it's great to see yourself on the screen. But yes, before practicing, some tips. Don't think that it is a practice round. Always, when you're recording, make sure that your mind says that it is the final round of my presentation. My audience are sitting in front of me. I have to deliver the best presentation today. And that is why get dressed so that you can have the control of your body. And then when you start the address, start with a good smile on your face, but not too much of smile, you know. And when you record yourself, use the power of retakes, retakes, retakes. When I started recording first 2 minute speech, it took me around 2 hours because I had to use a lot of retakes, retake 1000, retake 2000. But jokes apart, I didn't use that much of retakes. But yes, there were 10, 15 retakes. First time I recorded myself, it was so horrible. And I said, is this me? And is this my voice? So horrible. But looking at my video and listening to my voice, I realized I need to improve this. And this is how, ladies and gentlemen, the journey of improvement started. The journey started from zero. And today, it's been more than 11, 12 years into this profession. And I've added many digits before the zero. Many digits before the zero in my experience, in my confidence, and the way of delivery has changed just because of presentations. I request all my panelists, all my audiences who have ever done this process of practice or who have ever used the recording process of practice, please share a bit of your experience in the chat box. I'm waiting for your response. Either my panelist or my audience, anybody can share when they first recorded themselves on the camera. What was their experience? Was it an amazing one or was it horrible? Mr. Keshwani says, it was a horror show. My goodness. Jagjit ji said, camera was not on. Bingo. This is the mistake which most of the people like us, we do. In the excitement of recording, we forget to switch on the camera. And after 5 minutes of recording, we're so excited that now we are going to watch our own recording. And the moment we use the play button, the file does not exist because the camera was not on. Good, Jagjit ji. So, ladies and gentlemen, camera is a great, great technique to practice. And the best part, it is free of cost. And you can practice 24 into 7 into 365. And later on, when you are confident in your practice, record a small video and post it on YouTube, on Facebook. And just share your videos with us as well. We would love to share our feedback on your videos. As how to start recording, just stand in front of your camera. Don't wait for costly cameras or your mics or lightings. You can use just your mobile, which you are holding right now. Just switch on the recording and start speaking. We don't need a lot of investment to record ourselves. Just we need your commitment, your dedication towards the practice round. Because when your practice round is very powerful, your presentation will be a delight to the audience. So, practice on camera. Next, after practice on camera, we have to go for the next round, that is called the delivery part. So, the planning, second is preparation, and the third is called delivery. Now, the delivery part is the part where 80% of the people I'm talking about, the speakers, the presenters, they are stuck at this level. They don't want to move a step ahead. They don't want to take the responsibility of the delivery, and they don't want to bear the pain of delivery. And that is why only 20% people, they become the presenters, they become the speakers, because their beta means the risk appetite is a bit high from the 80% category people. And it doesn't mean that 80% people are bad, but just they don't want to take that risk, the risk of their own created humiliation process, own created fears. And I remember my colleague Keshwani ji, he shared about the fears. And majority, if you see, they are your own creation. You have created it. So only one person can destroy it, and that is you. Have you ever done it? Do you know some ways to overcome your fear? You should share it here with all my audience. Because when you know the ways to overcome the fears, that becomes the litmus test. Because the moment you are stepping a step forward, the litmus test will decide whether the color of the paper is changing or not. Because when it is the changing, it means you have taken the risk and you know what success is. And you know you are going to become a great presenter. So, ladies and gentlemen, take the risk. Delivery is the stage which helps you to set the tone with the audience. When your tone and my tone is attuned, it will augment you and me as a presenter. Augmentation is really required, and setting the tone to get it attuned is an art. Mile sur, आगे क्या था? Do those things which you fear the most. Give life a chance. Exactly. और से कहा गया है, मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा, ओ तो सुर बने हमारा. So आपका सुर मेरा सुर मिलेगा तो सुर बनेगा और ये दुनिया बोलेगी वाह उस्ताद वाह. So this is how great musicians are created, great artists are created. Because when your tone is attuned to the audience, that is the time, that is the art, you know, how to get the audience attention. When the audience are attentive, when they're listening to you, when they're mesmerized because of your way of presentation, of your knowledge, ladies and gentlemen, you have become a great presenter. But, one advice. The point I'm going to share, most of the online trainers, most of the online speakers, they know this point and they have used it practically. Offline, it was a bit easy to use it, but online, it has become a difficult part, and that is energy, takat, urja. If you don't have passion, you don't have energy. And if you don't have energy, keep in mind you have nothing. Passion. Be passionate about what you're speaking. Be energetic, because you're transferring your energy to the audience. And here, as per the physics law, when you transfer the energy, it transforms the other person. And that is why I told my purpose is to empower and transform my audience with the knowledge. And the knowledge, if it is bundled with the energy, amazing combination, it becomes a conglomerate. And that conglomerate will be successful, definitely. The next part, in delivery, I tell you, it is a part which you are using subconsciously. And that part is your body language. Your body does the most of the talk. You don't know that part, because your body is responding as per your words, as per the thoughts you are having in your mind. You can hide the body signs for 5 or 10 minutes, but not for 1 hour. The body will respond. And that is why what is inside you, it is resembling on your exterior through your body languages. Ladies and gentlemen, when you are on the offline mode or in the online mode, if you don't use the power of the body, definitely you'll be disconnected with the audience. First part of the body is called your eyes. If we are sitting like beyond the screens today, having no physical contact, but yes, we have the emotional contact. And that is how the body language in online presentations also is very much important. The first part is called your eye. When you are presenting your presentations in online mode as well, keep in mind there's a camera. That camera is not an instrument today. That camera is the eye of my audience today. If I'm looking to the camera, it means I'm looking deep inside my audience's eye. And that is how I am connected to them, because each and every individual today have their own instrument, and that instrument is passing my eye contact to them. And this is how I'm connected to you today. Use it. Second part is called your posture, the way you sit, because nowadays the new normal is the online webinars. And in online webinars, when you're talking to people, so you are using a chair where you sit down. But when you are sitting down, keep in mind you cannot slouch on the chair. You should be sitting 90 degree, so that you should be having a great commanding posture. There should be authority when you speak. Posture defines the way audiences responds to your presentation. If your posture lacks the energy, your audience, they will leave the presentation. After the posture, the next is called your gestures, the hand movements. Don't stop them. Even in online mode, use the power of your gestures, because they pass on the emotions to the audience, even in online format. After the posture, gesture comes the tonality, the tone of your voice, the मैं समय हूँ, मैंने समय को बदलते देखा है, मैं काल चक्र हूँ, मैं महाभारत हूँ. The way you use the vocal cord, it changes the meaning of the entire message. कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती, लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, नन्ही चींटी जब चलती है, चढ़ती दीवारों पे 100 बार फिसलती है, मन का विश्वास रगों में साहस भरता है, चढ़कर गिरना, गिरकर चढ़ना ना करता है, मेहनत उसकी बेकार हर बार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती. Imagine in the last 1 minute, I have used lot many examples of tone of my voice modulation. When you learn this art, I'll just share two things about voice modulation. Just keep your hands on the heart, on the chest, and just hum. Mm, When you can feel the vibration on your chest, it means you know how to use the modulation. It should not be through the throat. Rather, the air should be through the lungs, passing through the vocal cord, and it will be creating the vibration. Or you can do one more practice. You can just say E, O, E, R, E, O, E, R. So this is stretching the vocal cord. Don't use the vocal cord. Rather, the air should be coming from inside. Oh, ah, oh, ooh, ah. So these are some exercises through which you can learn the art of voice modulation. And when you like gain command on it, then you can have one more career option that is called the voice over artist. Because nowadays lot many social medias are using the videos, creating videos where they need voice, and if you have got that amazing mesmerizing voice, then your voice will pay you. And I tell you, it's a fun thing using the voice. When you change it, keep in mind the musical instruments and the vocal cord, they are same. They are different chords, but we don't need to press it to get the voice. You can create bass, you can create treble in your voice at the moment you start enjoying that process. Ladies and gentlemen, people will be amazingly connected. Okay, next. So we discussed some parameters of preparation, planning, preparation, and then we discussed about the delivery part. Now let's move a bit forward, and that is called when you are delivering. Keep in mind that the audience, they want to gain something out of your presentation, and if they could not gain something, what is the point of your presentation? They have faith and trust on you. Don't break that faith and trust. Give them something which can be a value addition to their life, and this is the way through which you are going to create history. So let's move on some more technical parts. A presentation or a speech is divided in three parts. The first is called opening, the second is called the body, and the third is called the closing. Opening should be 10%, body should be 80%, and closing should be 10%. Now look at the diagram or the pie chart. If you see, I have not used data dumping here. I have not used a lot of content here. I have used a very simple format of the pie chart, but in a 3D format. And this is an infographic. Even if I don't say something, the audience will definitely learn what I'm trying to pass on to them. They can get the insight of the message. That is the power of your charts, your your diagrams, or the tables you are sharing with the audience. So we are discussing about the different stages of your presentation, or the different steps of the presentation: the opening, body, and close. Opening is always only 10%. It helps you to connect with the audience. As it is said, the first impression is the last impression. And this is the opening when the audience are open to you. And if you don't open to them, they will shut their mind. And the audience takes just 5 minutes to make an opinion about the speaker, to make or create a judgment about the presenter or the speaker. So that is why opening is very important. There are different types of opening. What I'm trying to share here is a list which is inclusive. If you are aware of any other opening styles, you're most welcome to add on your style as well. The first is called with a question. If you remember, I started my part with a question today. And when I was starting my part, do you remember what was the question when I started today? The first question. Okay, the first question was soft skill or hard skill? Presentation skill is a soft skill or hard skill? And that time, lot many people told it is a soft skill. And then I shared the example of a person. What was the person's name? A legend in the field of finance, investment. What was the person's name? Warren. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Rohit. Thank you. Thank you. Satish, thank you very much. Satish Goelji, that's my name. Okay. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It was Warren Buffett. He told that it's not a soft skill, rather, it's a hard skill. Next, after the question, the next is called a narrative. You can start with a narrative or a short story, or we call it anecdotes with a very short story. The third is called a shock statement. When you are starting topic, any topic which is related to the audience psychologically or emotionally, you can use the shock statement opening. Or you can use opening with phrases and quotations. Amantram aksham nasti nasti mulam aushadham ayogya purusha nasti yajakastatra dullabha. The learned Chanakya told, there is no word which has no meaning. There is no root which has no medicinal property, and there is no human who is not capable. Every root, every word, and every person has got something inside which they need to showcase. And to showcase it, they first need to have insight of themselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, even today's session, if you see, you all have the presentation skills inside you, but you need to brush up. You need to just clean the dust on it, and we can learn presentation skills. Okay, the last opening style is called simple and direct. Majority of the people, they use the last one because it is easy. But keep in mind, not always easy things will help you out. You need to do something which is difficult. In body, I have some pointers. If you use it, it will add more value to your presentations. Point number one, cover the topic in logical order or chronological order. Second, use the relevant content. If I'm talking about presentations today, I cannot use the part which belongs to goal setting because it is out of context today. So the context, you have to decide whether the content is with the context or not. Third, your content should be supported by references, examples, or data, statistics, which the audience can easily grasp, and avoid data dumping. Next one, enter the audience's mind and heart sitting behind the screen, which is really in online mode, not impossible, but a bit difficult. But yes, you can easily enter the audience's heart and the mind. And when you enter someone's heart and mind, they will always remember you with respect. And always keep in mind, audience, they are the most important character of your presentation. You have to give them importance as well. You have to interact with them. If you avoid your audience, they will leave your presentation. And use the power of language. Not too simple, not too difficult. But yes, as per the audience, the vocabulary should be justifiable. Your vocabulary should be the one which the audience, and that is why I always say, analyze the audience, know the audience. When you know the audience, you can know which vocabulary to use. Like if you are delivering a presentation in front of poets or authors and you are using very generic general words, they will not be impressed with your presentation because their vocabulary is vast. And that is why I say, learn the power of language by using simile, metaphor, anecdotes, and a bit of jargons. Jargons should be usually avoided. But if the audience background is a bit technical, you can use that technical jargons with them. And then let your body do the talk through your eyes, your gestures, your voice, tonality. Also, have a collection of goodies, books, your quotations, your couplets, experiences, which you can share with the audience. And when you're using the references, etc., use the power of infographics. And don't try to please the audience, because when you try to please the audience, your content you might be lacking the content. And in online mode, you cannot please them. You can please them only through one thing, and that is called your knowledge and the way you deliver the presentation. And they will be pleased when they feel that you have added value to their life. If you could not add value, they are not pleased and they will forget you soon. And maintain the energy throughout the presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, your energy should be contagious. It should be infective. Even if people are sitting behind the screen, they should feel your energy. And then comes the closing part, which is 10% of the entire presentation. And I'll be sharing some types of closing. You can use these types of closings in your presentations or your speeches. The first is called by paraphrasing the presentation. Paraphrasing the presentation. If you remember, when Mr. Keshwani was closing his part, he asked the audience to share some pointers. Even he used the word recap. What is recap? In closing, recap is called paraphrasing the entire presentation in some words, some lines, or some pointers. The best closing is, I believe, is called the rule of 5. The rule of 5 says the speaker should focus on connecting with the audience at the end by asking them that please share only 5 points which you remember today. And if your audience could not remember 5 points, then what is the point of delivering the presentation? The next closing is called take action. Take action. When the speaker finishes with take action, the audiences, they are excited to take action of whatever the speaker told. And the next type of closing is the Bahubali style. Mahindra Bahubali. Katappa ne Bahubali ko kyun mara? We waited 2 years to get the answer. Ladies and gentlemen, this style is called the surprise or the suspense or the curiosity approach of closing the presentation. But yes, you should be aware whether this style should be used or not. Not every presentation ends with this particular style of closing. And the last is called simple and direct closing, which 80% of the people, they use it. And that is why you should avoid using it. We are about to enter the last phase of our presentation today. We shared numerous things about presentation skills. And that is why when Mr. Keshwani was talking about books, I realized that we should share some good references with you. And this is a list of some good references which you can use in your presentations or which you can use for your own reference to read. These are amazing books. These are the experiences of our life for the last 10, 15, 20 years. We have collected these books. We have read it. We have used these books. And seriously, these books have helped us to increase our net worth. Books, they help you psychologically. Books, they help you financially as well. Invest in books. And there are some online references as well, where you can see amazing presentations like TED Talks or the Toastmasters. And just for your reference, I got one speech or a presentation of a great presenter. I'm sharing that presentation link in the chat box with you all. This presentation is the last presentation of an iconic businessman or a person who was the best example of creativity of marketing a product. And his name is, what is his name? Some people, they also want to sell their kidney to get his product. कुछ लोग किडनियां बेच के इनके प्रोडक्ट को लेना चाहते हैं. Ladies and gentlemen, इस इंसान का नाम क्या है? Steve Jobs. Thank you, Sumit Prasad. Steve Jobs. Achha, if you see his last presentation, suddenly his body language, there was a dip in the energy. But yes, the smile was the same. And the way he was responding to the audience, it was the same. There's not a single percent drop in his smile. Energy because of his physiological problems, he was suffering from the cancer. So that's why energy, there was a bit dip, but he was trying to maintain. That is the power of great presenter. He is no more today, but still people remember his speech. Before we do the closing today, I need that we should be connected. We should be connected forever. And that is why one more initiative from Team LA, Leaders Avenue. We want that you should record yourself. Record on anything, just 2 minutes of video recording. Choose any topic. You can choose the happiness, the greatest happiness of my life, the embarrassing day of my life, the dream of my life, the love of my life, or you can say my profession, or any topic, just 2 minutes, record it on camera. Use the knowledge we share today and retake. If you're satisfied with your recording, post it on YouTube and share the link with us, or post it on Facebook and share the link with us. Our team will share our feedback on that video with you. And that will be a critical feedback. After doing analysis of the video from different parameters, we will be sharing our feedback. And this is the way through which we can be connected. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is an initiative taken by LA for you. Handling Q&A. This is the area where majority of the speakers or the presenters, they have the fear because they believe if they could not answer the question, they will feel insulted, or the audience might change their mind about the speaker. One advice to everyone: only a fool knows everything. We cannot know everything. And that is why we have to know only something. We have to know something, but everything of the something. That is our core area. We should know majority of the parameters of our core area. I cannot know about astrophysics. I cannot know about history. I cannot have knowledge about how to create or how to make missiles. But yes, I know how to use the power of presentations, how to use the power of my speeches to connect with my audience. This is the everything of something I know. Now, the audience usually asks two questions. The first, the question is actually relevant. And the second, that particular audience wants that the rest of the audience should know that that person exists. And that is why that person asks questions for the sake of asking questions. And being a speaker, being a presenter, keep in mind, you should not answer every question. You should answer only the logical question related with your topic's presentation, what you delivered that day. You cannot cover entire topic in a particular presentation. So the question should be restricted to the presentation. But you cannot be rude. So the best way is, I'm really afraid, I'm not able to recall it right now. May you please share your number so that I can share the answer in future with you. And obviously a bit of sarcasm, not always. What a question, Sir G. What a question, Madam G. It was an amazing question. Please share your phone number. I'll update you. But if there's a genuine question, don't use this answer over there. Just say, I really appreciate your efforts of asking question. Definitely, I would like to answer the question and then answer it. And don't answer the question just for the sake of pleasing the audience. Otherwise, the audience, they will be asking more questions and more questions and more questions and more questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, any questions from your side, Team Leaders Avenue would really appreciate and would take the pleasure to answer your questions today. Thank you very much. We are open for the questions for the next 2 minutes. And last advice to you all, as a presenter, start on time, end on time. Respect the audience's time because time is money. Wonderful talking to you all. We are open for the questions.
And I am sure if there are no questions, then perhaps Govind and me can ask some questions.
Yes, sure, sir, sure.
नहीं, just joking. जैसे आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा गोविंद ने कि one of the very good closings is that in the last closing you can ask the five theory which you had referred to. Ki what were the five highlights of today's 3-hour presentation of myself and Govindji? So maybe one or two of the participants, or maybe slightly more also, any one good learning which you have learned, you can indicate it in your this thing chat box. So I think that can be great. So at least from that, we'll come to know okay, what has been the real understanding. So that would be a good insight to all of us. Any one word thing which comes.
Satish Ji writes, try it.
हाँ कुछ नया करोगे try तभी तो बदलेगी राय.
And Rohit writes, danger is real, fear is a choice.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, that's a wonderful thing. Or any query which you have in mind, please do that thing. We can slightly extend also, so that should not be, because nobody should go unanswered. कोई भी गिला शिकवा नहीं होना चाहिए, सभी यहाँ पे डाउनलोड कर लीजिएगा, हम उसको अपलोड कर देंगे. So that should be the spirit. Chali. At least we definitely feel that whatever both of us have shared from our hearts to heart and our experience, that has really benefited our select to select audience. And once you have liked these type of inputs which have been given to you, certainly as Govindji said, our emails have been highlighted. We can always be in touch and further expand the horizon of this subject matter. And to whosoever of your good self decides to have some assignments being completed, we'll be more than happy to offer our professional inputs on that, or as Govindji said, feedback on us. Because this is what we have heard and we have followed, that feedback is in fact the breakfast for the champions. One great author, Spencer, in his 1 Minute Manager series of books, he has mentioned that feedback is in fact the breakfast for the champions. So I'm sure we have addressed those champions. So be in touch, and we'll be coming out with the more such series to be following, a calendar of which would be highlighted to you and posted to you. We already have your phone numbers and email. So once again, happy Independence Day to all of us. Thanks once again.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Happy Independence Day to you all. Thank you very much.